Here we are with Jenny, my friend Jenny. She lives in Maui, Hawaii.
Yes.
And today is Sunday, am I correct? Sunday, September 28, 2025.
Yep.
I'm always giving dates, Jenny, because you never know what's going to happen next day.
That's true. Yeah.
And Jenny lives full-time in Maui. We used to work together. And Jenny, I was here 6 years ago in this Westin.
Yep. In this Westin.
And we met here and was wonderful, and we meet again. Please let me and everybody else know what's changed since 2019.
Everything. It's been a whirlwind for everyone. I think globally because of COVID right after 2019, and I can't believe it's been 6 years already. It really feels like it's been maybe 3 years.
Exactly.
But I think all of us have been in kind of a COVID recovery bubble in some levels of those lost 2 years that we had, where kids weren't going to school, some people weren't working, we were staying inside, we weren't traveling as much. And we were just starting to recover and come out with the rest of the world. Tourism was coming back to Maui. And then
you had the fires.
Then we had the fires 2 years ago. That was 2023, right?
And that's why I wasn't here for such a long time.
That's right. You're probably going to come back and visit, and you couldn't.
Of course.
It made it really difficult, particularly since you were living in Lahaina. This was your home.
And thanks to you, you checked on a place where I used to live and said, no, it wasn't touched.
Yeah.
Thank God.
We're getting some good windows.
Wow. Look at this. Hey, wind of change, scorpions.
Yep.
Mars in Scorpio.
Sure, yeah. I know. It looks like we might
Yeah,
have
look at this. Wow. Wow.
Because a cloud is coming down from the mountain the same.
But doesn't that feel good?
It does, yes. That's the way the wind comes down Lahaina. It comes north shore breeze and it picks up speed as it goes down the mountainside that's on the other side of us. It's very dynamic with the wind here. But yeah, it's been tough. So after the fires, I don't know how it was for everybody else, but I was still able, because I lived on the other side of the island, I didn't have any interruption from my job. But I was doing a lot with survivor's guilt, like many people on Maui did. They felt like they needed to give, and there was a really big outpouring of love and support coming from the community, and I think that was a really nice thing. So Maui had this rebirthing of everything Hawaiiana, everything about land rights, going back to the original, what it should be for water rights for Lahaina, and just looking at everything. And wait a second, how come those fires happened? Well, it's because the water was redirected in this way. Well, why is that? So a lot of that was happening, and local Hawaiians and other locals that are born and raised of other cultures were protesting on the beaches, and also talking to legislature and working with our governor and our mayor and trying to plan how we're going to rebuild. And now 2 years later, of course, the speed of the build is not how it ever wants to be for most people. And
why is that? They said 5 years, nothing will be happening.
I knew that since I had already built a cottage for my mom in my backyard before the fires, I knew how slow the county operates. I felt like I needed an associate's degree at least for having to get through, to get approval to build. Building on Maui and getting approval to build as hard as it is. That was before the fires. So I knew when the fires
So
hit,
the fires go really fast, but rebuilding, that's another story.
I thought that the county was going to allow a little bit more leeway so the building could happen faster, because the population needed a place to live, and it wasn't going, it seems like it's going at the same rate that I experienced back in 2021 when I started to build.
Did they ever come up with the story why the hydrants...
We're watching this football game next time.
Hydrants didn't work, and sirens didn't work, and all that.
They didn't come down to the why. They just moved forward and did this push of, this is how we've improved it for next year or the following. This is how we're making it better. and trying to reassure the public that they're making ameliorations. Of course, everyone who wanted to do a lawsuit as a class action or
And they did.
They did, and they are doing. And I know.
And they
a
got
bunch of people
the settlement.
Yeah.
Did they take the money?
It depends on who you mean by they. There's several ones, and I
It
only
was
know,
like 4 million or maybe
yeah,
more.
that one
pretty
did
big.
get granted, yeah. And I believe if it was a class action, I think
Yeah.
it was paid out, yeah.
Okay.
So Miko's involved with one as well, with suing Miko, the electric company. For
But
the
they
storm
rebuilt,
fires.
right? The new electric. Remember we were talking about electricity last time?
Right, yeah.
And then, boom! Actually, that was done.
Right.
But was done everywhere?
I don't know. And see, that's the thing. A lot of things aren't, they're very much private. And I think it could also be once lawyers get involved, I think a lot of times they say don't talk because that can impact either side. And if you're the one that's invested in a lawsuit, you want to just deal with the people that you need to talk to. And sometimes they don't give you a gag order, but they will say to you things like, it's in the best interest of the case to not discuss this with anybody else. And the professionals have got their hands on it. So I think with that said, a lot of things that someone like me, we don't know really what the outcome was. Even if you speak to the victims, you know, maybe
So
they were told not
for
to
the
talk.
public knowledge,
Right.
really nothing happened.
Right.
Officially,
Yeah.
like a statement of this and this happened, and
Right.
blah blah blah.
Not commonly, and they'll make statements, and it's usually those public announcements are usually when they're in the process of and saying what the timeline is. But they do hold those forums specifically only for Lahaina residents, and it's in person, and then they publicize it. But a lot of things aren't. I guess it's not perpetuated within the public so much unless you're in that vein and it really directly affects you. A lot of people don't really talk about it still.
So
outside levels.
how COVID got Maui?
I think we were one of the better outcomes nationally for COVID. We had the lowest numbers, at least per a state.
But people didn't come here, right? The tourists?
Right. Oh, okay. In that sense, yeah, definitely. COVID, we took a hit in terms of tourism.
And
yeah.
Hawaii, let's be honest, live off mostly tourists, right?
We live off tourists, and that's another thing. So on top of that, to boot with the fires, that is when tourism is down. So, and a lot of people exited. We had thousands of people that left the islands because they couldn't find housing here. So not just being priced out of paradise, there simply was not enough
That's
housing.
right. You lost tenants.
I lost tenants, yep, that had to go back. But that was during COVID. So, but the fires 3 years later was another aspect of an already problematic housing crisis that we were already in once the fires hit.
And boy, it's so expensive. You know that apartment I used to live in Lahaina, when I started, was $1,095.
Yeah.
Was less than in New Jersey.
Wow.
I visited now, this time, that place, the office, and I said, okay, my apartment, exactly, what, you know, how much I would pay now?
Yeah.
Oh my God, almost 3,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, now I'm not surprised because it's already saddened me for 2-3 years of seeing the markup value of renting. I haven't been a landlord in that sense of, I mean, but I do have a cottage if my mom passes, you know, that I have the potential to rent
It's a
it
beautiful
out.
cottage. I've seen it
It's
yesterday.
1,000
I saw
square
it.
feet, yeah, with a
Beautiful.
garage. But I don't. I think I could probably get like around 3,500 to 4,000 a month.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't sit right with me because I know that's the going market rate. I just know personally for me, that's someone's entire month paycheck, right? For a lot of people. And that's another issue. We've got a lot of people that do entry-level jobs here. And what you need to earn to have living wage, to live, not just like survival wage,
Exactly.
but to like live and have a normal life and be able to go to Costco and have that annual membership and do all the things and not struggle. You need to be making at least $35 an hour. Well, minimum wage is $15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so people that are entry level with no education and just out of high school, which a lot of our population is,
So
they're
either
not gonna survive.
they going for the mainland,
Right.
or they live like
Or they live with their whole
1
family.
million generation.
Right, so you have a whole multiple generational
Yep.
families in a lot of these homes, and so I've had some of my students that would even not have their own bed; they'd be sleeping on the couch, or they have large families. Another thing is with those entry levels, I'm seeing with a younger crowd. Some of them don't want to work. They work at a hotel, they have a job for a while, they save up the money, and then they just quit. And while they're living home with other family members, the grandparents and parents that work, when you have that communal living, you don't need to work. So they're just kind of hanging out, surfing at the beach. So I still yet see, if things are so tough, this is my question, if things are so tough here, and it's really hard to live here, if you do that communal living, it still allows for some family members to relax and have the good life for a bit. And then when it's like, okay, we got to tighten the belt, secure the bag, let's go back and get a job and work for another 6 months. And then they save up. So it's almost like a feast or famine mentality for those entry-level people that are communal living. And so that's when you find people that are on public assistance, and there's a lot of public assistance and nonprofits that opened up because of the fires that people are still benefiting from, which is nice that it's still here because it's needed. I just, as a teacher, I want to see more self-motivated learners in this new generation that's coming around.
And you don't see that yet, right?
No, I'm a Gen Xer. Keep my head down, be quiet, raised by a boomer, or I'm raised by silent generation people, so that survived the Depression. So my work ethic is pretty, it's a dying breed we are. So I would love to see a work ethic that's a little bit stronger than what I'm seeing in the schools right now.
As a teacher, how do you see the education today versus what it used to be?
Okay, so even 10 years ago, there weren't cell phones, and that has had a huge, when I work with my teachers, I work with special ed teachers and I mentor them. They have a hard time. If the school doesn't have a no cell phone policy, it is very difficult in each classroom to struggle with keeping the cell phones away. And so kids are engaged directly into what the learning process is going on in the classroom. And that's hard. So we have disengaged learners. And where are they going to be if they need to then pass an entrance exam to a college and move forward? And I don't know if the family structure is not there that is getting them college and career ready. Well, the cell phone isn't, unless they want to be a YouTube star. And what are the odds there that you're going to do that and be successful? Unlike Gracie here.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Mahalo.
Yes, but some of these kids, they think they've got the latest awesome dance move or whatever that they're going to be able to, they see their favorite
And God
people.
bless them, but not everybody will survive on those TikToks and this whatever.
And the advertising, and it's a lot of work to get a little bit of money. And I know as an actress, so it's a lot of work and hours for like $100 a day, low budget film. And that doesn't even pay your grocery bill to go to Costco.
But most, you see, I don't know, many, let's put it this way, many young people, they just want quick, a lot of money, not too much work.
Yeah, don't we all? When that sounds lovely, but I just don't know why they think it's attainable, because I understood that if you just get a job, you're grateful to get a job, and work hard, and everything will pay off. And I just figured that's a input-output simple equation. So where is it that you think you can get rich quick? Where is it that you think you can sit around and make money and not work? And so that doesn't compute in my mind as a Gen Xer.
And how they learn that even that is possible
I
today,
don't know, because the Gen Xers are raising them. I know what Gen Xers are doing. They're working hard doing the job. So I don't know how that message came about, unless it was just a few people on social media, the Kardashians, etc., that they see and they're like, oh, I want to do that too. I mean, who were your role models growing up? It wasn't someone like the Kardashians. My role models were, let me think about this. Well, I was raised Catholic, so it was things like, Nelson Mandela, People Helping, JFK, Jimmy Carter, Habitat for Humanity. But that was my thing. Like, I wanted to help the world and maybe make money. So that was my slackadaisical way of I didn't care about money.
But do you think now, when we're talking about this, that we all try to do as much as possible for free and give away and be the good souls that we are?
I mean, that's what I always say.
And then one day, just slapped in the face, like, really?
Yeah.
Do people even appreciate it? Never mind to make money that way. Although, Jenny, I know if we were so wealthy, filthy wealthy, right? Rich, filthy rich.
Would we want to give money to those people?
Definitely we would do a lot for free.
Yeah.
I know I would. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even think twice. But unfortunately, we all have to pay for everything. And the cost of living is not going down.
Right. Yeah.
So I just read yesterday that Hawaii goes into recession. What that exactly means for you and Maui? You said it really doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother me just because I've worked hard being a
That's
Gen
right.
Xer to
Yeah.
front load,
That's right.
pay off my house. I did that in once I bought out my ex, I did that in 3 years and 4 months, and I just knew that I didn't want to have any debt over my head in moving forward. But that was a normal, regular formula for me. A lot of people thought that I was wrong in paying off my house. They said, oh, you could invest that money instead. No, we're good, thanks. So COVID was great for me because I had other jobs that I could do online. I taught kids in China how to speak English and worked with that program. It was only $10 an hour, but that was $10 that I didn't have an hour ago. So for me, yeah, I'll do that. Some people think that they're above that amount of money, and they could, why, that's not worth your time. Are you telling me that you're worth $10 an hour? No, it's not what I'm saying. My job in making money was a goal for me to attain because I had a bigger goal in mind, paying off my house. I don't know what goals people have for themselves, but for me it was securing the bag, getting the house paid off so I can move forward into my retirement years, working on investing and having that money. Now recently though, someone asked me, and it challenged all of my thought process and everything I've developed. They said, hold on a second, healthcare when you get older is going to be so expensive that you're not going to be able to enjoy that money that you just saved anyway. It's going to have to go towards care, and you should spend down so you can qualify for Medicaid, so you can be poor with less than $2,000 in the bank, so you get everything free.
Yeah, besides, Jenny, inflation.
And inflation. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm in a middle class where I've worked to save, but if the healthcare is going to take all of my hard-earned money away from me, in $16,000 a month is what it costs for assisted living on Maui. That's a lot of money. So if you
How
have
much did you say?
$16,000 a month for Halemakua, which is assisted living. If you have memory care, if you need help like that, it's around $10,000 to $16,000 nationally.
Oh my God.
So think about, you couldn't last more than, so let's say you got $400,000. Most people do not in a bank account. That would take you to 2 years. That's all you got. And then what? If you don't have a house to give to the nursing home or whatnot, who's going to care for you? So it makes me worried that those middle class people are stuck. You're not rich enough, like Jeff Bezos, to not care. And
No, not everybody Bezos.
and you're not poor enough
And
to
Gates.
qualify.
Yeah.
But this horrible middle road, what do you do? Long-term care insurance, I guess? I don't
But
know.
you know something? I'm retired. And those retired people, I don't know what's going to happen to me and others because, okay, you have your retirement. Oh, the cost of living
Right.
going up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I got $55 more a month.
Right.
And in the meantime, for my apartment alone, I pay over $100 a month more
Yeah.
every year.
That doesn't add up.
So, how are we gonna survive?
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Again, I'm not Bezos, and that's not my cousin and Gates and
Yeah.
the other
Right.
good guys. So,
Yeah.
I hope somebody is thinking about us, the little people, especially in the age, in Aquarius.
Right.
The truth, the little people, and freedom. No? Thank you very much, my dear Jenny. I finally let you finish What is again this dish?
This is, what is that? Oh my god, I forget what it's called. It's ahi poke nachos. It's good. It's good
Which
stuff.
I cannot even pronounce.
It's raw tuna
But
on top
Jenny's
with wasabi.
Hawaiian, Jenny's
I
Maui.
know. Still here. Yes.
Jenny,
Not
was
going
pleasure.
anywhere.
Thank you very much.
always good
You
to
the
see you.
best. You the
Yes.
best.